Hey guys, this is MonkinOut bringing you part 2 of my 65-gallon saltwater aquarium series. Right now we're in my basement, and I wanted to just make a quick update video to let you guys know what I've been up to. If you remember in part 1, I talked a little bit about having to finish my canopy and stand the insides. The wood wasn't finished, it wasn't protected or sealed, and so that's basically what I've done over the past couple days. I've applied 3 coats of polyurethane to the inside of the cabinet. I finished that up this morning, and it's dry now. It's set up. It's not 100% cured. I want to say it takes probably, they want you to wait 72 hours before it's 100% done where you can start utilizing the furniture. But for all intents and purposes, I think it turned out really great. Just as a side note too, when I went to the home store and I picked up the polyurethane, I grabbed a semi-gloss by accident. The exterior was already done by the gentleman that made this for me, and he had a satin finish on there. I think I mentioned that in the first video. Anyways, the semi-gloss that I used on the inside turned out so nice, I actually decided to put a coat of it on the exterior, and it made a huge difference in bringing out the wood grain. I don't know if you guys can see it in the video, but I mean, it made a drastic improvement in making that wood grain pop. Also, I think the surface is a lot smoother and a lot cleaner looking. I think it'll be a lot easier to clean as well. And of course, the added bonus is I got an extra, coat of polyurethane on there just to protect that wood. So it hopefully will hold up, and last a long time. With that's really one of the main reasons why I wanted to make this video. If you guys out there that have been in the hobby for a long time know, or even you guys getting started like myself, getting into this hobby takes a lot of commitment, a lot of time, and a lot of dollars depending on what type of system you're setting up. And I can't stress it enough that if you're going to invest that amount of time, that amount of money, that amount of effort, why not go all the way 100% and get your system done right the first time. Take your time, plan it out, and then do like the little things like I did here. I got this cabinet and I could have got started right away, but I was thinking long term. I want this piece of furniture to last. It is a piece of furniture. It's nice. It's going to be a great addition to my home. I invested some money into it, a few $100, and having a 20-gallon sump underneath here full of water that's going to be evaporating, potential condensation during water changes if there's spills or if there's a leak or something. And what could that do to the wood? Could it damage it to the point where the main display is at risk? Am I jeopardizing the strength of the stand itself? All these types of things ran through my mind. I'm thinking, you know what? I'll spend that $10-15 and put in a little bit more time and take care of this wood, seal it up properly. Hopefully it's got a good waterproof barrier on there so that in the event that something does happen, it's not going to be ruined, and I don't have to worry about jeopardizing the main tank. And it's not that hard to do. And I'm going to actually try to show you guys a quick little demo of basically what I've been doing. I mean, that's the other thing. If you don't have any experience on this, don't be intimidated. I mean, anybody can do this. If I can do it, you can do it. And with that, let me move over to here. I set up like a little workbench. Right here in front is the piece of wood I talked about that I'm going to use to mount my lighting system to inside the canopy. So I wanted to stain that and finish that. And so I went to the home store over here in my area and I picked up a small can of stain that matches the stain on the cabinet and the polyurethane right there. And to apply this, I mean, it is not that difficult. The main thing you want to make sure you do is, definitely follow the instructions. Definitely want to stir it like it says from the bottom up so you can get any of the solids that may have settled to the bottom mixed in properly. You don't want to overly agitate it because if you do, you'll get air bubbles in there and that'll definitely affect your finish. A foam brush like this, pick these babies up for 50 cents, we'll say, at the home store. And I mean, it's pretty simple. You're just going to apply the product to the brush, load it up, and basically just apply it like you're painting, back and forth. I like to go along with the grain, get a nice even coat. Now this is going on real easy because I've already you know, put a couple coats on this particular piece of wood. The first coat, you know, it'll probably take you a little bit longer because that wood's going to want to pull, you know, it's going to want to pull it in there. But once you get a nice even coat on here, you know, all I like to do is just kind of start at one end, follow the grain, overlap your brush strokes just like I'm doing, nice and easy pressure, not a big deal, just to try to even out, you know, your overall application of the product. Once it's done, you know, you're basically waiting for it to dry. That's it. Definitely don't want to overdo it. You know, less is best. The more brush strokes you're going to do and the more you mess with it, or if you try to apply more product on top of it, you could get more bubbles, or it's just going to make more work for you when you have to prep it for the next coat. And then some of the things you'll use for prepping it in between coats, you could use something like this. This is basically like a extra fine sandpaper, but it's like on a sponge, you know, so it just makes it real easy, you know, to handle. You know, it had this neat little angle feature on there to try to get in some little tight corners. The main thing I used, though, was a fine steel wool, and they'll have that at your home store as well. Definitely try to stick with the finer grades. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's like a quadruple zero or a triple zero. That's just, you know, the finer that steel wool, you're going to get a nicer finish. And just as an example, you know, just grab your steel wool, go ahead and get this on your wood after the surface is set up and dried, and you just want to give it a light sand. I mean, you don't have to put a ton of pressure on here. You just go with the grain, and what's gonna happen here is that steel wool, I don't know if you guys can see it on there, but it already knocked off. You might see like a little white dust on there, just knocking off any of the imperfections left over from the application of the polyurethane. You know, simple, not that hard, a little time consuming, sure, but I'm telling you, it is not that difficult. If I can do it, you can do it for sure. And lastly, the silicone. Definitely want to use something that is 100% silicone in my opinion, only because you'll see, not necessarily this brand, I mean there's all kinds of different brands. You can, you know, get different colors. You know, this is clear. They have them in, you know, different colors, of course. If your cabinet's black, you could go with a black silicone, but you want to go with 100% because the main reason is you want something that is 100% waterproof, that it is shrink proof, it won't crack, and it's definitely going to resist mildew. And to apply it, we'll come in here to the cabinet. I'm going to adjust this light down just to give you an example. I'm not actually going to do it right this second because I need two hands to do that. But, you know, go ahead and basically just apply your silicone to all your seams, whether it's, you know, right here at the base, or in this case, right here in this panel, there's a seam here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Definitely going to fill that in as well. And I'm even going to do inside the doors themselves. There's the seams in here. I'm going to do those. And as far as applying this, if you're a little intimidated, you're worried about making a mess, just cut the tip of your silicone. Just cut it small. Go easy. And if you're still afraid of making a mess, you can even do something similar to this. Let me get the light shining over here so you guys can see it a little bit easier. Let me adjust this here. You can use like regular painter's tape and basically lay down a border and, you know, caulk within that area. So for instance, if I wanted to caulk this area in here, I laid my tape down. Don't worry about if excess silicone or caulk gets on that tape, because what you're going to do is once you get your bead of silicone in there, you can get a damp sponge and dab your finger on there if you want and wipe it. Or if you're confident that, you know, you can get a bead on there, no problem, go for it. And then once it's done, you know, don't let it dry, but go ahead and just, you know, remove the tape, boom, and it's just going to peel off the excess silicone that might be on there and give you a nice clean edge. So, you know, I just wanted to share, you know, a couple things that I've been doing with you guys. I also wanted to say, too, I've had my YouTube channel up for a little bit, but I posted my first video. I think it's only been 4 or 5 days. I already had over 200 views as far as I remember and 8 subscribers already. So I want to thank you guys personally for taking an interest of this project and what I'm doing. And definitely, if you're interested and you want to see more videos, which I will be posting, please subscribe to my channel. Rate the videos. Let me know what you think, and feel free to post comments. You know, I'm definitely open to your suggestions and your opinions on this build. You know, I'm doing this not just to inform you guys of how to do something, but this is a learning process for me as well. So with that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Keep tuning in, and this is MonkinOut signing out.